What's going on, everyone? Today is February 14th, 2024. Happy Valentine's Day. It is your midweek review. My name is Carson.
And I'm Henry.
And we are here to give you a little insight on where the market has traded so far this week and where we think it might trade next week. A little thing about news. There was no news today. Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., we have core retail sales month on month. We have an Empire State Manufacturing Index, a retail sales month on month, and unemployment claims. That's all being released at 8:30. You also have at 9:15, you have an industrial production month on month. And then at 1:15, you have an FOMC member speaking. So you do have a lot of pre-equity open volatility. So utilize that as you will. Other than that, that's it for the rest of the news on Thursday. Friday, you do have PPIs at 8:30. You've got a core PPI and a regular PPI month on month. That'll be released at 8:30 on top of building permits. And then at 10 a.m., you have consumer sentiment. So still, obviously, we knew going into this week, aside from the CPI, a lot of the volatility was going to be on the back half, being Thursday and Friday. And that's tomorrow. So hopefully that was insightful. And other than that, the only other announcement I think that we have is tomorrow we have myself going on Top Step for the lunch hour there. So from 12 p.m. noon until about 1 p.m. noon, I will be on Top Step. I will not be trading, just chit-chatting, talking, kind of doing their little interview thing that they do, talking to you guys, giving some tips and tricks and pointers. I might call some levels in the market if I see something, but really not going to be pressing the button as it is the lunch hour. Other than that, feel free to come on and say what's up. Let them know that you guys are part of the community because you guys are what make up the community. So we would enjoy to see you guys there. And I could use all the support that I need. Although I'm not nervous. I'm just excited. So I like bragging about all y'all. So it'll be fun. But other than that, I think that's about it for me. Henry, do you have anything else?
That's pretty much all for me. We're excited to have that opportunity on Top Step tomorrow. We do have the course material coming out for you all. That introductory course should be out very, very soon. So get excited for that. And if you have any friends in your trading circle that are looking to be involved in firsthand, even just to participate in our morning chart and chats, which we're doing completely free every morning, 8:45, then get your Discord invite link, send it over to them, or you can send them to our WAP page and people can join to the free side of the Discord from there as well. So keep sharing.
We're rocking and rolling, baby.
And the knowledge will grow as well.
All right. We're rocking and rolling over here. All right, dollar. Let's go ahead and get into it. A couple things on the dollar. We talked about this BISI last week. I wanted to see if we could maybe push lower into this high. We didn't even get to the consequent encroachment of the BISI, and we were looking at the fact of, do we push from this BISI upwards into this high? And you can see that we have accomplished that this week. CPI actually did that for us. So now really looking to see, we're trading above the consequent encroachment right now of this weekly SIBI. We have now fully filled it. But now when you go into a daily, really my main focus is for the rest of the week and going forward, you can see that we filled these two BISIs in here, right? If you look at the candle closure from this BISI and this BISI, price respected it and didn't really want to come anywhere near the monthly open. That's totally fine. That just shows us that we are potentially just in a bullish sentiment. But from now, we still have this entire SIBI that we can form on the daily, right? So although we have this weekly SIBI, we have this daily SIBI, right? And you can see that we are working our way through that. So the main idea is, do we continue working our way through this daily SIBI, right? The full fill would be like from a bullish stance, you would want to see this completely fill. And how would we note to potentially watch that or navigate through that? Well, you have this daily BISI. So watch candle closure throughout the days and note, do we respect the BISI? Do we respect the top of the consequent encroachment from the weekly SIBI? And if so, how do we deliver higher and through that, and then potentially use this weekly SIBI as support? And if we don't, and we close back below, then we could potentially come back below these lows and then come fill a little bit more price action in here and then potentially take these lows. But as of right now, my main focus is simply just this daily BISI and how do the days consecutively continuing throughout the week, both Thursday and Friday, and even going into next week, how do we close, right? Do we close above the consequent encroachment of it? Do we close below it? Do we close below the BISI? And as long as we don't close below this BISI, I'm going to expect price to go higher. Basically, that's my standpoint on dollar. If you note the candle bodies, though, you can see we still have not closed above the weekly SIBI. So I will be noting that once we start to close above this weekly SIBI, we can really start to run higher and fill this area in here. As you can see, there's a volume imbalance right here. Sell side has been offered. Now we need buy side to be offered. So for the most part, as long as we can continue to close either inside or above this BISI, and then once we really start to close outside and above of the weekly SIBI right here, then we can really start to go higher. Other than that, if we close below it, then we could potentially start to see lower prices. But until that's done, I'm going to stick with the idea that we go higher, and I'm going to stay on the side of what's been displaced. Okay, that's it for me.
Okay, we'll do a quick look at indices. And y'all are getting the rundown of this every morning at 8:45, so you're probably pretty familiar with what I'm going to share here. But just starting on a weekly chart here with ES, dropping down earlier in the week into the BISI right here. Okay, small inefficiency there between this candle's high and this candle's low. See just the candle body there, but no wicks overlapping. That's exactly where we tapped into to make the low of the week so far. And so still just expecting bullish order flow. Right? We're creating inefficiencies on the way up, we're returning to them, and then finding new displacement off of it. So as long as we continue to see that and do not see closure below this inefficiency right here, I just continue to expect higher prices. So you just look for inefficiency and liquidity above the market, and that would just be this week's high up here. Drop down to a daily. What we talked about this morning was how this week we've seen price return to a discount of this range. So dropping down to a discount into the daily volume imbalance and the weekly BISI, which is right there. And then today in the morning chart and chat, we talked about how we'd like to see this candle close back above this daily BISI right there as a framework to see that we could trade back toward higher prices up here. And so now the only premium arrays you really have above you are this BISI, which was traded through right here. So this is kind of like your last premium array before reaching up into the buy side. And then you'd have this volume imbalance here, but if we're going to reach all the way up into there, I wouldn't be too concerned with that as stopping price from reaching up toward the buy side right here. So the next thing to look for is just, do we continue to follow the displacement that we're seeing on lower time frames, like your 4-hour chart, and work back up into the buy side up here and above this inefficiency? Or do you see price trade into this, and then on your 4-hour and 1-hour time frames, find new displacement back toward the lows? That would give you an indication that we could see a deeper retracement down into here. So if you take a look at your 4-hour chart real quick, you can see how price came down into the weekly BISI, displaced off of it. And then this morning, we talked about how when this candle closes, it would leave an inefficiency right here, and we'd expect price to drop down into the inefficiency right there and then move higher off of it. And as long as we got closure above the midpoint of this SIBI right here, between this candle's low and this candle's high, which we do right here on this candle, then we'd expect higher prices. So expecting price to reach back up into this inefficiency right here. And then beyond that, it can reach for this high in the buy side up here. Okay, move to NASDAQ now. We don't have the same BISI that you saw on the weekly on ES, but we did trade into a weekly BISI here, right into the consequent encroachment, the midpoint, running off of that. And then here, just trading back into the previous week's high. So you have an immediate rebalance right there. And we ran out the sell side below the previous weekly low as well, just below it, and then moving off of there. So drop down to the daily chart. You can see once again, returning into a discount of the range. So dropping down into a discount into the daily volume imbalance, and then trading back higher, back above the daily BISI right here. Perfect. So now we just look for price to trade to this BISI here. And then with closure above it, we can expect price to work back toward the buy side up here. So same things you're looking for on ES. You want to see, do we get new displacement through this BISI here and continue to work up toward the buy side, or do we trade into it and then on your 4-hour and 1-hour charts displace back lower, in which case you could see a retracement back into a discount. On the 4-hour right here, there are two inefficiencies on ES. We already saw closure through this one here on the 4-hour. But if you're looking at this broader range right there, including the two misses together, then you can get closure above it right there, which we saw. And so now just expecting price to continue the bullish order flow like we saw here this morning, dropping into the 4-hour BSC right there, and then trading higher. Continue the bullish order flow up into here, the daily BSC above, and then buy side and buy side up here. That covers it for me. Any thoughts here, Carson? You're muted.
Nope, I'm all good. Sorry about that. All good there. Just make sure that you're following your rule set. As long as you're following your rule set, I'm good there. Rules are what you need to follow. Other than that, I'm good. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Top Step.
All right, we'll see you all tomorrow and see you in the Discord. Take care, stay safe, be responsible.
Peace.